Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. Okay, this is a residential application. This is just a basic drawing. Let's just look at, we have some bar stools sitting here, and then we have some dining space over here. Not quite sure how big the table is going to be, but I just threw in this table here. And let's just go over the interpretation of the drawing, or of the image I saw. So I was told that the overall dimensions were 20 feet by 37 feet. So I have this direction here, 37 feet, and then from outer post to outer post, 20 feet. I also put this this rooftop here at 2110. The beam height here I have at 8'6". I put a couple inches shorter on these beams going across this way here at 8'8". So I'm going to say the ceiling is going to be about 8'6". There's going to be, probably there's going to be a ceiling here, either wood or stucco finish. I'm not quite sure about that. Also, just about 4 foot center to center on these posts, are these beams coming across here. I think that's pretty much about it. As far as the slope is concerned, I'm not quite sure what the slope is going to be. However, it is going to make a difference with regards to whether or not these beams here are 8 inches in height. So I think I have, I have these all at 8 inches in height here. If these are not 8 inches at height, they're shorter than 8, then we're going to have to really look at the clearance issue that might be present on this side over here. So just bear that in mind. And 29 feet from post to post here, so this might be a little bit shorter, but again, my interpretation. I have the bar stool seating that is just on the outside edge of the patio here. It's kind of covered here, but I'm not quite sure how far that goes. And I also have it at 2/3 of this whole distance from this point here to this point here. I cut it in thirds and made this bar in that dimension there. All right, in fact, we could go ahead and just take a look at that real quick, just so we have that dimension on here. Let's pop that in here real quick. And you can see here we have it at 12 foot 10 inches. All right, let me go ahead and take those off and make a recommendation. So what I would recommend is flush mount if possible. And there's, like I said, 2 different seating arrangements. Lower seating here, higher seating here with the bar stool. So this heater setup over here is going to be a little bit, you would want it probably a little bit cooler. However, I'm going to show all the same units at this point right now. So let's go ahead and pop in the ceiling. And you can see I have some openings here, and so these openings, they were generated based off of where these beams are coming across here. So again, that 24 and let's say 25 inch center to center might be different. So these will be off slightly, like a few inches here. Just keep that in mind. But so I chose this location here, this location here, this location here, and then of course the what I did here is, let's go back to the dimensions here and pop this on here. So what I did here is from center to center of the opening. Let's see if I can grab that. I have them at 8 foot center to center. So basically from center point of the patio here to the center point of where the heaters are going to go is 4 feet, and then of course 8 foot center to center on heater. All right, let's turn that off again and pop in some heaters. So these will be the CD6024 6000 watt 240 volts, and these put out about 20,456 BTUs of heat. So that's why I'm using all 6 of them for this location here. They said they wanted the entire space heated. Also, this particular unit right here above the bar, I have it in the center of the patio itself. Now you may want to, if this dimension that I gave you earlier is true, off-centered here. You may want to push this heater to the left, maybe a foot and a half, something of that nature, just to bear that in mind. But the important thing here is, let me take off the ceiling for a second here. The important thing is you're going to need to attach one heater here. That's why I have it in that location. This heater here is attached to that beam going across, and then this one here, you're going to have to box this in basically with some 2x8s. The flush mount kit requires the flush mount kit itself. It requires the heater, so this would be a WD-6024, and then you'd have to build in a 1-hour drywall finish, and I think it's 5/8 drywall that you'd use on all 4 sides, including the top. So bear that in mind, and that's why you need that 8 inches of clearance above the heater. And going back to this location over here, you can see that this is where that issue might come in, where we're not making that clearance. So that depth is a very important part of this application. You may have to push the heaters over to the left slightly, or they'll fit. So just bear that in mind. All right, let's put that ceiling back on and look at the footprint of heat. Footprint of heat, you can see that we're covering this whole entire space really good. And yeah, I would say the only thing is this serving bar area here, or prep area here, maybe this wouldn't be the best spot. And then of course coming back over here to the bar stool seating height, now if you put a 6,000 watt unit in here, this would be too hot. So I'm just representing where I have the heater, and I would most likely put a 4,000 or even a 3,000 watt unit in here. If you put a 4,000 watt in there, then you'd probably want to go ahead and put in a control system. And I would say probably a control system would work out even better in this application here. The heaters are designed for 8 to 10 foot mounting height, 8 foot being the ideal, and it might be a little bit too warm at some times of the year, so control systems would be really good in an application like this. So let's see if there's anything else. Going back just to the clearances, if you do have lighting or fans or anything of that nature in here, then you're going to want to make sure that you're meeting the clearances to combustible materials, and that would be from the edge of the heater itself, 18 inches out to the left, to the right, 18 inches from the heater itself to the left, and then on either end 18 inches from the heater here to out here, 36 inches all the way down below the heater itself. Let's go ahead and take off that ray for a second so you can see that. And then the last thing I'm going to mention is, let's just say that this would be a tongue and groove or a wooden combustible ceiling. Then the only thing you'd have to do is, if you notice here with the stucco ceiling I have here with this yellow ring here, we're actually penetrating that stucco finish here. So what you're going to need to do in that case is take the heater itself. So we'll get this heater here, and the heater itself will have to be at the same elevation as the finished ceiling if it's a combustible surface. So you can see here now I have that at the same elevation as the ceiling itself. Let's see if I can get out of here. All right, so yeah, it's dropped down from the flush mount kit itself down slightly to the same elevation as the ceiling if the ceiling is a combustible surface. Also, just as another side note, you do need I have the bracket itself. If I move this down here, some people installed the heater with the bracket exposed, like this sort of. Let's go one more, just a fraction there. So the bracket's exposed. I like to have it recessed and then covered with the stucco on this flange here. But when you do that, then you want to make sure that you are leaving at least a ½ inch from the opening vents here on the side of the flush mount to any even stucco or combustible surface, anything like that. It needs to have that venting open completely so it can vent properly. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs At patioheat.com, I'm Steve. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that thumbs up. Have a great day.